This is my Honda Civic Si, and here's all the parts we'll be loading onto it.
Now let me explain. I bought this 8th gen Civic Si because I truly believe that it is the best first car for any young enthusiast. We then covered the next steps that I believe you should do after purchasing a car such as this. We immediately performed maintenance such as spark plugs and an oil change, and immediately fixed and cleaned up all the little issues that happen to be on my personal car. From here, we can now dive into the mods that I believe in. However, this is where the build can take a turn to a place that's a little unrealistic for some people working within this budget. I want to make it perfectly clear that the current state that the car sits in is plenty good enough for anyone to enjoy as a brilliant, fun driver's first car. But if you guys know me, you know I love to take every single platform that I buy into and build it up to my dream final vision. And even though some of the things that I'm about to do to this car may be out of one's typical budget, I'd love to load them onto this car to showcase the max potential that this platform can possibly have.
So, first thing on our agenda, because we will be adding on some spicy wheels later on that will showcase more of these brakes, we gotta do something about these brakes up here. This is the brake setup that comes on the car. Even though it's a higher trim SI, the brake setup doesn't really look that higher trim, higher performance to me. One of the things I noticed when driving this particular car around is that the brake pedal felt a little bit mushy, so it could use at least a better brake fluid flush anyway. So between brake fluid flush, having some shinier calipers in there, and just having a higher performance brake setup over around for the car, we're gonna be upgrading our brakes today. So we have a power stop brake kit, and then we have some shiny red front calipers. So we're only really doing the fronts, and you'll notice that this isn't any fancy 6-piston crazy Brembo BBK of any sort. That's because this car is gonna really serve a daily function, and I feel like obviously for aesthetics, the big Brembo setup would look a lot nicer than these tinier ones. However, it's just a bit excessive. It's a bit unnecessary for what I'm gonna be doing with this car. It's not gonna turn into a full track time attack build of any sort. And this is still gonna be a lot better than what's currently on the car, mainly because of the rotors, also because of your pads, and lastly, because we'll be doing braided lines, which will allow the brake fluid to run through the system a lot better than how it does. We have .3 Honda genuine brake fluid we'll be adding in, and then some new hardware for when we're releasing the rotors themselves.
The nice thing about today's install is that in typical Matt Armstrong fashion, I have my dad conveniently here able to help me out and assist with the job.
So these cheaper ESRs that came on the car, they are want-to-be center lock wheels. So this is obviously the stuff in, you know, Formula One, big race car, but obviously this is just a cap that in here I have a tool that, if I'm thinking about this correctly, oh, do I really need someone? I guess we need someone on the brakes for these. Oh, I got it. Haha. So with this off, it exposes your 5-lug. They want to be center locks really hard, but I'm glad they're not, because I don't even have the actual center lock tool. And it probably means that they're a lot cheaper. These are the actual lug nuts that are on here. It's a good thing I seem to have the socket for that too, because those are not that common. But let's get the wheel off. Car dash cams just keep on getting smaller and smaller, and that's why I wanted to show you guys this. Yes, this video has been sponsored by Vantrue. What I have here is the Vantrue E1 Pro, which is mini and 4K quality combined with a 158-degree wide angle view. Look at how tiny this thing is. This is awesome. This thing is so small. Look at the size of my Honda key to compare. For the install process, you just simply slap on your EM1 to the windshield with the adhesive provided, and then now you tuck your wire. I tucked the wire above on the headliner, brought it down over to the side, and then tucked it behind the weather stripping right here. And then the wire protrudes around, goes into the glove box, and through the glove box goes into the cigarette lighter. Easy as such, now you don't see anything. It features exclusive plate pix technology designed to capture license plates with enhanced clarity, providing clearer evidence in the event of disputes. You got 5 GHz high frequency Wi-Fi and free app, allowing for quick quicker access to videos on your smartphone. And it's also compatible with LTE module. Remotely monitor your car, receive real-time alerts, locate your parked vehicle, and unlock a range of powerful LTE features. I also wanted to mention it is Vantrue's 10-year anniversary, so happy 10th anniversary to them. They are truly driven. It's truly incredible how far and convenient dash cams have come. So what are you guys waiting for? Go click the link in my description and go check out the Vantrue E1 Pro. First things first, we gotta unbolt this caliper, which I think it might almost hand screw off now since we broke it. Next, we gotta loosen the bolt holding in the brake line. Now, I'm gonna take my perfect little prop here. Voila! Easy. We'll be removing all of this at some point, but I guess if we wanted to start out with the rotors, we could do that. Next on the agenda is the thing I'm most worried about, which is this screw right here, which holds in your rotor, but it already looks a little bit stripped out. All that's between us and this screw is a little Phillips insert. So we gotta pray that this holds. Otherwise, we're gonna have a really fun time extracting. Oh, easy. Okay, that's awesome. In the past, this has been a nightmare of a thing to deal with. Oh, look at that. Look at that. For comparison, you see that the new one is, they're similar in size, probably around the same size actually, but it's just drilled and slotted for cooling. And imagine with our pads, it's just gonna contact a lot better. The sizing might actually be really nice because we won't have to worry about the dust shield. I don't think it's hitting the dust shield. We just noticed a little later on that we mismatched our rotors. They are labeled, we can't read. Front passenger side, front driver's side, it says. This is supposed to go on here. Yeah, and this is the proper direction they're supposed to face. Now we are attempting to remove the line itself from the chassis of the vehicle. We have our little bucket down there for the brake fluid when it comes out. And we've learned that to loosen this 10mm bolt, you want to make sure you keep the brackets and everything all hooked up first so that you have the torque and the tension of this remaining where it is. And hopefully we could break this off without stripping it.
Is it dripping yet?
Yeah.
How come it's not making it to the...
Not. Where's it dripping? Oh, it's right there, right there. Yep, there we go. That's all dripping down. This is fully detached. Now we're rebuilding our new brake calipers. Like that?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. And so now we're attaching our line to the caliper. Line, pads, we are ready to mount. Goes to the front side. There we go. All right, now we just gotta bolt this thing on. We got the line attached right here. Then to attach this all the way up, these screw together. Everything's all tightened down. So our new brake setup is installed and we got the other side done as well. And so now we just have to bleed the system. So we're gonna use a, that could be a 10 mil or something. And I think when we loosen that, then fluid's gonna spurt out. And I have my bleeder bottle. I gotta drain this out, but this is our tool that this can mount up right to your rotor too. And then you plug that right on your bleeder area, and then all the old brake fluid can go through here. We're gonna top off the, what do you call this, a master cylinder? So we got my dad in there operating the brake pedals, and so you're gonna give it 3 pumps to go ahead. Yep. And on that last one, you just hold, and then I release. All the fluid comes through. We should have more in the bottle now, and then I just gotta tighten it back up while he's still holding. All right, now you're good to release. And we just do this process like 100 gazillion times.
Another thing to add is that the order in which you bleed your brakes can be important. It's helpful if you start furthest away from the master cylinder. So in my car's case, we did right rear, right front, and then left front. Now I want to present to you guys our brand new wheel setup for the Civic build. we have some Volk CE28s in Blast Bronze.
These are specifically CE28 ends. They are 17 by 9 plus 22, and then wrapped around them we have some lovely Nitto NT05 tires in 235/40 R17. I know I'm super excited about these. These are definitely the dream wheels for this project. However, I also know that some of you may be thinking, Jack, we already ran Volk CE28s on the previous Honda build, the S2000. And I gotta say, I have a type when it comes to certain cars, certain wheels. However, those wheels on that car were finished in diamond black. This is gonna be a different take. It's gonna be bronze on red. Bronze on red, I think, always can work really well. And this finish is really cool because in the sunlight, it just glistens. But then if you kind of bring it over into the shade, they're really dark, actually. So it's a really unique, a satin matte type finish. And of course, you gotta love how they etch in all of their stampings, their logos, everything into these. Now, I am aware this is the point into the build where things start to get a little bit controversial, where people start to have different opinions. Because the current wheels that came on this car, I found this car, it had this set of ESRs on there. I know there's some of you guys out there that really like these. I mean, they are kind of color coordinated with their wannabe center cap in red. They have a nice little polished lip, so it's a nice little hot boy look. And I'll admit, if the car was staying in the exact current state that it is onward, I think these wheels would do the job just fine, and they are a lot more affordable than those right there. However, that's just simply not the case. We're gonna be taking this car aesthetically to different lengths, and the wheels that I got, I believe, are just gonna complement that a lot more. They're gonna fulfill the dream look that I have for this car. And then subjectivity aside, these are a lot more light. They are way stronger than those wheels ever could be for if I'm gonna hit bumps or curbs or anything like that. I mean, these are track grade performance wheels. And they're also what you would call real wheels in the community of real versus rep, based on the brand quality capabilities of them. And I'm aware that this build and this project is a first car. I'm trying to educate or showcase to you guys a lot of recommendations. And I'm aware that on a first car budget, especially a budget of this specific Civic Si, where you could possibly be buying the car itself for as low as $6,000, that a set of wheels that are close to $3,500 to $4,000 is just simply not really realistic. However, it is something that I truly believe in that if you had the patience and you had the ability to give yourself time to save up and to allow your first car to roll on a set of wheels that are of this high quality, that are real, that are cultured, that are cool like this, I think it's entirely worth it. You get the performance out of them, you get the functionality out of them, and you also get the respect out of them when you show up to shows and places or show it up around your friends. It's an extra layer deep into the iceberg of personalization to showcase to people, hey, I'm a real diehard car guy because I really do value the functionality, I value the history, I value the heritage of buying into a brand like this and having these on my car, even if my car is some cheap little Civic. For me, when I'm out spotting cars at shows and events, I can freak out and get more excited if I see a car and it just happens to be on a really specific set of cool wheels. Even if the car itself is something basic, something casual, wheels can entirely make a car. And so I've always gone off of how excited it makes me when I see stuff like that, and it's made me want to put those wheels on my cars in hopes of maybe there's some other people out there that'll appreciate it in the same way. It's why I got some nice Advans on the Skyline, and it's why I went as far as to put TE37s in bronze on my F-150 of all things. So now, with my lecture out of the way on all the various reasons on why it's worth it to have the patience to save up and put wheels like these on whatever car you have, let's just slap them on and see how they look.
The difference in weight between the two sets of wheels became real obvious when taking them on and off. As a matter of fact, these CE28s were probably some of the lightest wheels I had ever had, particularly because of the sizing of them too. Usually I'm working with wheel sizes that are much larger, which will end up being a bit heavier, but these boys were light as a feather.
First impressions, oh, this is a million times better in my book. This thing looks way more aggressive, way more sinister, and it just looks like it's ready to hit the track. Now we're gonna have to do a little bit of something about this wheel gap right here. The car already had some tang coilovers, so I'm immediately gonna reduce some of our threads on the collars and bring it down maybe a half inch, almost maybe an inch. And then same for a little bit of the rear. This is an aggressive setup, kind of like the S2000, where we have a little bit sticking out just because we're trying to fit the most aggressive offset C28 in there as possible, because I hate flat, weak offset wheels. Luckily, the car already has some camber aftermarket rear suspension components that gives us some negative rear camber. And then in the front, right in there is the top of the tang coilovers, and there is still some room to push that in further, giving us some more negative front camber so that we could safely lower the front down a little bit more without hopefully not crunching a fender. I mean, enjoy these fenders how they are now. They won't be on the car long term, so I guess if I crunch one of them, I mean, there'll be different fenders on this car at some point. But I didn't do a good job of taking care of my S2000 fenders because I was running such aggressive wheels. So I'm gonna try to do more of that on this car, but you know me, I want perfect fitment. I want to get rid of this wheel gap.
I first loosened these screws at the top of the coilover and pushed the coilover in, giving us maximum front camber. Then I broke the bottom collar off the coilover shock, allowing it to spin and adjust our height. I gave myself about an inch to lower the car on all sides around. And once done, it was now time to take in our glorious creation.
So here we are, Volk Racing C28 ends Blast Bronze. We went down to 17s. Previous wheels were 18s, and I love it. I hope you guys love it. This is very much me now. It's so refreshing to have at least my hint of personalization now on the car, not looking like it's embodying someone else's car. Bronze and red is like peanut butter and jelly. It's just a classic. It goes together. The car looks like it's ready to hit the track. It looks aggressive. It looks functional and has even better fitment than before. And has the little cherry on top. I know they're not a BBK, but we now have red calipers in the front. The C28s are some of the most caliper exposing wheels that are out there. And so I knew that with these being the stock silver or whatever it was, this wasn't gonna cut it. And so it definitely helps now, adds to the whole functional track race car look. And we have better lines, better rotors, and hopefully better brakes. We'll go on a little test run in a second here. Also got to make sure we're not rubbing because our fitment back here is pretty tight. I gave us a little bit of room right there because I still want to be able to have people to be able to ride in the back and not have a rubbing issue. I mean, it's rare these days that I have a four-door sedan and I want to take full utilization of this car. So, you know, I still want this to be a proper daily driver, but now it just, I think it looks so much better. I don't even like the USDM body that these come in, but fitted on the right wheels, which I think is something that you just rarely see. I think this USDM body actually has some potential, like kind of liking the car even in the form that it's currently in, but we're gonna change that. So far the car is driving good. We got a little bit of rubbing on some bumps here and there. Gonna need an alignment because we altered the height a lot. But if I slam on the brakes, oh yeah, they're way more touchy. The pedal isn't as spongy anymore because we got them all, we got the whole system all rebled through. Look at this. It's like a F30 3 Series completely slammed. I wonder if that thing's static. Yeah, he's a lot lower than we're making this Civic. Oh, we got distracted. I got honked at. If you guys hadn't already seen it in the background throughout the video, I'm gonna show you guys an early sneak peek as to what's coming. We have the rear end for the FD2 conversion fully picked up. However, now we still have to go find the entire front end. I'm not gonna install the rear without having the full front. So we're gonna need to keep on searching. It's gonna take a little bit while, but that is the plan. We are definitely gonna give that thing the JDM conversion. See, it's a good thing that I have one of these around. This is like the universal locking nut key. And apparently all the nuts that were previously on this car are the locking nuts. So if I didn't have one of these sockets around, we have to go buy one of these because these are not your typical lug nuts. They're not like a 17 or 18.